So that's 0. We don't want to put it in output, so that's 0, right?
And 1, 2, 3, the outcome.
And what about this?
Oh, so whatever the add is.
Add. Where does add happen? Add happens here. I'm not asking you for the machine code for this. I'm asking you for the control signals.
So what do we put
need to
there?
do? We need to route one of these things this way, right? I can't write on it. One of those, R0, needs to come in the top, and R1 needs to come in the bottom. How do you route these things to make that happen? And then it's got to come back out the other side and make its way back to R1.
So what
So
would
you got to figure out what these are to make that happen. I'll post the solution to this too. So I'll post this out there. I'll post the solution to it. So you can go over this, because there'll be a problem like this on the final.
So is it going to be a 0 or a 1 for the M1,
Or it might
M2?
be don't care, right?
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Like we're not using, actually I think we're using all of them on this one. So we're using all the multiplexers on this one.
Okay.
Except for M6. I don't have M6 shown here. All we've got is M1 through M5, this lower half of the computer. So you need to figure out what about this one? Out R1. What happens there?
And an
That's an
output,
easy one.
whatever an output, R1. So that'll be 1.
Output gets data, so it should be a 1, 0, 0. What about these? We don't care what M5 is, we're not gonna be down that way, right? We don't care what M4 is. We don't care what M3 or M1 are. The only one we care about is M2, and that should route what? And that should route R1 out here to the register, so M2 should be
Okay.
out R1 does what? It takes what's in register 1 up here and outputs it to the output register. So the only active multiplexer here is multiplexer 2, right? The other ones, we're not using them. The add one, I think we needed all of them, right? But some of them, like out, that's an easy one, right? What about load immediate? Where does load immediate come in?
Load immediate.
Load immediate takes a number from the instruction. Right there, right? So this has to be piped all the way through back to whatever the appropriate register is. So you just what you gotta figure out is you gotta figure out what path is the data taking through this diagram, and then give the appropriate values to the control signals to make that happen.
Dr. Scott, how did you
Yeah.
know that was load immediate, the IR 3 to 0?
Because I've taken this class before.
You haven't shown us this before.
I did. We went over load immediate.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, looking at this, like, the other ones, it makes sense where to start.
Load immediate's what? Load immediate, the number's embedded in the instruction. Where is it embedded? The last 4 bits. Where's the last 4 bits? There. Instruction errors. It's on the diagram. So you gotta understand the instruction to know how this works. So practice that. So we'll have a problem like this. I think that's probably, yeah, that's the end of the exam.